Did you know in 2006, only 20% of adults knew what a podcast was? Did you know that today, over 80% of the population in the U.S. understand and know what a podcast is? Now let's quantify that. That's over 220 million people in the U.S. Now, 62% of the U.S. consumers listen to a podcast. 68% listen to the entire podcast. Now, this is probably a no-brainer, but mobile phones are the primary viewing device for a podcast. That's over 73% of the population of the U.S. Podcast ad revenue is expected to exceed $2 billion in 2023. Right? In 2024, it's expected to exceed $4 billion. Let me give you another statistic. December the 9th, 2022, the average podcaster host made over $72,000 a year. That's the number for the average podcaster host. Over $72,000 a year. Okay? Now, if you need to break that down, that's $35.04 an hour, $1,401 a week. That's $6,073 a month. And also, if you have taken the time to register with the state, get your EIN number, register with the IRS, do everything that you need to do to register your podcast as a legit business, because you can write that off on your taxes, because you have your time, you have equipment, you have space. If you have employees, I mean, you're an employee of your business yourself. You can write that off on your taxes, therefore reducing your overall taxable income in that year. Did you also know if you develop a content-rich podcast and put it together and package it, you can will that podcast to your kids? Yeah, you can will it to them. It's like giving them free money that they can use later on. If they receive it in an inheritance, they can take that packaged podcast and they can sell it. For example, did you know that Joe Rogan makes $30 million a year for his podcast? Dave Ramsey makes $10 million a year. BaldwinCreech Media, 2022, 2023, and beyond. Thank you for tuning in today for another episode of Behind the Scenes. Much love, and I wish you much success. Enjoy the show, Behind the Scenes.
Nigga, what's your name? No,
My name is...
All right, let's do this thing.
G.
All right. Got my recording going.
I'm eyeing you, right?
Hmm?
I'm eyeing you.
Yeah, I am me. Camera's there. All right. Okay. Woo! Oh my goodness. First and foremost, I finally got a chance to see the film Colorblind. So it's an amazing film. I have to say that off the top, not just because I'm just saying it, but it's an amazing film.
You're not biased.
No, I'm not biased at all. So I am am privileged and pleased to be here with the director and the writer of the film, Miss Lovie D. Young.
Thank you.
Right?
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. We are basically on the set. Well, not even the set. We're doing the wrap up from the Colorblind movie. I got a chance to see the Colorblind movie. It's phenomenal. Lovie D. Young did her thing, the writing, the directing, great product.
I like the jacket, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I have the
like
the esteemed pleasure,
in it, so.
the esteemed pleasure of sitting across from somebody you may know. I think you guys have seen this dude.
I like those
before.
shades too.
You know you've seen this guy
Yeah.
before. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I get a chance to sit
Where
across
you
from.
got niggas from, man? That
Hey man,
niggas
come on,
fly.
man. Can we do
That
this?
niggas fly, man.
See,
You ain't telling me about that.
I can't deal
Where
with
you
dudes
from?
like this.
It's like black and
Hey
glittery
man,
at the same
listen.
time.
Can we do this?
What are we doing?
Come
What are we doing?
Stay
What are we
with
doing
me.
here?
Stay with me. So Lovie, first of all, just getting into this, tell us what was your inspiration for the film?
I get asked that often. Some people ask me, was it based on me? Because I am from a predominantly white area in Southeast Missouri. No, it's not based on me. I had a lot of ideas.
We're gonna pause right here.
Okay.
And we're gonna reverse this because
Okay.
these niggas act like, you know. Hold up. All right. So I get a chance to sit across.
Hold on for a second.
Oh, here you
Hello?
go. I can't.
Man, I'm gonna call you back. I'm in an interview right
I
now.
can't with this dude right there.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't with this dude
Yeah.
right there. That's why I don't do
Nah,
stuff.
I'm with my boy. I'm with my boy
Look,
T.
and ain't nobody even calling this nigga.
I'm with my boy T. Green.
Nigga, come on. I got
No.
time for this.
Cause I'm flying, I do dope shit. That's why.
I'm about to
Okay.
walk off set.
Yeah.
All right, man, for real. Let's do this. Cause I got
So-
some shit to do. All right, I got shit to do. I ain't got time to be fucking with you all day, okay? I'm an important motherfucker. You understand me? No, let's do it. All right. Anyway,
What we doing?
first of all, again, I had a chance to see the movie Colorblind. Great film. Lovie D. Young did her thing. I want you guys to go out and check it out. So we're kind of doing the wrap up after the viewing. I get a chance to sit across from a guy that I've known for quite some time, one of my esteemed colleagues in the industry, one of my best friends, one of my partners, Mr. Ronell Baldwin, who was in the film. He did his thing. You got to check him out.
You stay your ass right there. I don't want you to hear you. Okay, I ain't coming.
You're funny.
All right, we're gonna take you, man. All right. First of all, I am privileged. I just got a chance to see the movie Colorblind. It's amazing. It's phenomenal, and I appreciate being one of the first to actually be able to see it. And I have the privilege of sitting down with the director and the writer, Miss Lovie D. Young. Thank you for sitting down with me, first and foremost. And what was the inspiration for the film? Let's start there.
I was not the true inspiration of the film, even though I've gotten asked that often. I had a lot of ideas I was kicking around in my head, and I'm not a Bible thumper, but I just really prayed about it and just asked God to give me a storyline. So I just kind of laid down after I prayed about it, laid down, and I woke up like literally like wee hours in the morning. I just started writing, and this is kind of like as I wrote, kind of came up with, and I just kind of like played it all out in my head and just started writing. So that's kind of how I came up with the storyline as I went. Yes, some of it is kind of based off being in the area where I'm from, being predominantly white.
Okay.
But so kind of like everybody that was black was kind of like you were related to. So you kind of like really like, you know,
Had to be careful.
all that you could do is
Right,
almost fall
yeah.
in love with a white boy.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I won't say it was based off of me. Maybe some of my feelings and thoughts, maybe. But no, that Amaya in the movie is not Lovie.
It's not Lovie.
Yeah.
All right. So Ronell,
Yeah.
known you for a minute. We do a lot of stuff together. So this is a separate thing, a separate venture from what we do with Gentlemen of Style. How was that from you?
And what's your question?
How was doing something like this, doing a film? How was that for you?
I mean, it kind of took me out of my box. I mean, it's something that I wasn't really used to participating in.
Right.
And I thought it was something that I could possibly do, but I wanted to kind of test myself and see if it was actually something that I was actually good at. And, you know, from some of the feedback, I was told that, you know, there was something that, you know, kind of worked. So, you know, based off of that, I mean, maybe, you know, maybe there's a foray that I can go into, you know, that field, you know, of work, maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm not opposed to it or anything like that. So, you know, I thought it was very interesting. So, you know, I'm all for it.
So, first of all, let everybody know, where are you from so that they can get the
I
context.
am from Portageville, Missouri, which is southeast Missouri, about an hour and 10 minutes north of Memphis, about 2 hours south of St. Louis on 55.
You are getting into a game that is, you know, film, music, all of these industries are very hard to get into and be I guess, a real player in there. So coming into this, you know, getting into film, what were your thoughts? Like, did you have a certain way that you wanted to move, or how was that just deciding I'm going to do a film?
I've always been a character. I've always been the one that loved to watch TV shows and kind of like replay storylines that I may have watched, whether it was Good Times, Sanford and Son, or even a cartoon.
Exactly.
So it's just something I always kind of wanted to do, just never had the opportunity or the time. So with the children getting older, I feel like it was now finally my opportunity. I could kind of like start networking and kind of, I won't say work on my craft, but start putting myself in a position to be able to, whether it be get in front of the camera or behind the camera, which I love being in front of the camera, which my next film I will be in front of the camera.
Okay.
But I really found that I had a passion for writing. And I found that I had a passion for writing and then seeing it come to life. So it just came with putting myself in certain circles and God placing me in certain circles and networks that kind of start bringing everything to fruition.
You've seen the movie now in its totality.
Yeah.
What did you think about it, just from your standpoint, being a part of the film? Well, what are your thoughts on the film?
Well, I mean, of course, I know it was like Lovie D's. I know it was her first foray into her first movie that she had produced and everything. And I actually thought it was very well made. You know, from someone, you know, that had not done it before and everything. I couldn't do it. You know, I don't know enough about it. For someone like that to just go in and do it, I don't know how she even accomplished the task of doing that. Organizing all the people, getting all the scenes in the different places. You know, I was actually very impressed by it, to be honest with you and everything. And I'm, you know, I consider myself as a creative and really would like to like do something that myself. But as I was watching the movie, I was just thinking, I was like, damn, how in the hell did she organize that to get it in all these different sets and these scenes and different places and everything like that, and people in wardrobe, and it just worked out. And I was like, wow, that deserves another level of conversation that I probably would like to have with her at some point to understand, hey, how did you make that happen and everything. Very impressive, you know, I'm very impressed by that.
So we're doing a project, music, film, whatever. There's always some things you have to go through,
Yes.
right? So there's some bumps in the road.
Yes.
As somebody trying to do what you've just done, what would you tell them?
Patience.
Patience, okay.
I would say patience and educate yourself. I think those are the biggest things that I found were, I won't say obstacles, but things that I know, and I would definitely push anyone to say, educate yourself on what you're trying to do. It makes it a little easier, but it doesn't make it easy. It makes it easier. And then again, just make sure you have the right people in your circle when you're working on projects. I think those things just make it, being the first project, a little bit more digestible.
A little digestible. I like that. Let everybody know, what was your role in the movie?
I played a doctor in the movie and everything. I was in there to heal people that got shot and, you know, busted up and stuff like that, you know. You know, and I mean, it wasn't a big role or anything like that, but it was a big role for me because it was something I hadn't done before. So, you know, it's catch-22, vice versa, here or there. So I played a doctor in the hospital. Character got shot, came in. I had to console the family, take care of the patient, discharge the patient, you know, so that was me. I was the doctor.
How was casting this film?
Wow. It was a task.
Okay.
It was a task because there's people I talked to prior to filming that while I was writing that I talked to about taking on parts. And after getting it written and starting to cast, things changed to what people who don't really know how it all works, they were asking for money. And of course, and I don't like using the term low budget. I say, because low budget always comes off as if it's,
Right. Yeah.
you know.
It's not the best of terminology.
Yeah,
but,
so I was trying to say a fixed finance, fixed budget,
we
fixed
get
budget
you. Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So, and people want to come in asking, even though they may have, whether it be a extra role or even a major role, they don't understand that this is more for, I don't want to use the term pilot, but it's for exposure.
Right.
And that the money comes on the back end if the film is picked up or the project is picked up. That if somebody's coming in and they're independent, it doesn't come with a lot of money. And so people who don't understand how it works, they come in wanting a lot of money. So long story short, to your question, it changed certain people that I had originally wanted to cast for roles. But with that happening, I think God ended up giving me just who was needed to make this film a success in my eyes.
Nice.
So that's kind of with casting. It was frustrating that I thought I had people in play, and then it turned into, oh, I gotta find somebody, or I gotta search, or I gotta do casting calls, and I didn't really have to do a lot of casting calls. Put a few things out there. People sent me reels through social media, and it worked out. It worked out.
Great. How was it working with Lovie D? You got any dope? You got what they say? Any tea for me? Any dope for me? What was it like working with Lovie?
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That probably they're not even gonna tell you guys and everything.
Yeah.
You know, on the business side of it, I dealt with people, trying to orchestrate things in the past as far as trying to get a task done and everything. And she, was like a damn slave driver and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, why does it really need to be this level of daggone intensity on the set in order to get this done and everything? And I was like, nah, she wasn't a slave driver. She wasn't a slave driver.
So what is one thing that you can look back on from the experience and say that you learned that you didn't know before you started?
Almost 80% of it. I am a novice.
I love the honesty.
So it was definitely a learning curve for me.
Okay.
But I learned a lot of do's and don'ts that I will definitely go into my next project doing and not doing. But again, I believe even some of the ones who've been in this industry for a while are still learning things because things change. Day to day, some just have it set the way they do it and there's no change for them. And I'm hoping someday maybe I can get to that point, but I also want to be able to evolve. So, so a lot of things that I learned to do, I would definitely implement next go round. And again, there would be a lot of things that I'm like, nah, player, we ain't doing this. We ain't going that route. This is what it's going to be. So be it. So, yeah, it was a learning curve.
She was actually a sweetheart on it and everything. She really worked well with the cast. She seemed to have a good grasp as far as who the people were prior to her actually engaging with them on set, and she was able to instruct them and get them to do what she needed them to do. So, I mean, to me personally, as an interaction with her, I had no problems with her, I'm the type of person, hey, you tell me to be over here and get in the corner, I'm going to go in the corner and turn my head. Tell me to turn around, look that way, I'm going to look that way, Yeah, I'm good. She was good. I mean, pleasant. I didn't have, nothing bad to say about her. I think she handled herself well.
Take good direction. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Tell everybody why they should watch Colorblind.
I think Colorblind is really hitting on a lot of things that are going on today, especially when it comes to interracial relationships. No matter, it's more acceptable now, but there's still a lot of challenges that come with interracial dating. And I think watching the film is just, I think it's a good family film. It is still a little PG-13, but I think it's still a good family film for people to understand, to love and accept people for who they are, not looking at the color of their skin, what side of the tracks they come from, how much money they make, and just loving people for just who they are.
After writing this, did your views change any on something that you didn't think about before, or something where did you say after writing this, like, dang, maybe I should think a little different about dating differently, or anything like that come up?
Well, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Growing up, I had a little crush on a white guy.
Okay.
Growing up again, all the black guys were cousins.
Okay. All right. It makes sense.
For the most
It
part.
makes sense.
But me, I love my black man. I love my black man, and I'm not against people. Of course, I wrote a film on interracial dating.
Right.
But I love my black man. I don't think there's anything more beautiful than a black man, a black woman. But again, I love within itself. So me loving what I love is who Lovie D is. So I don't think that anyone should be hit, hurt, or demeaned, or anything of that point when it comes to who they love and how they love.
Absolutely.
So for Lovie D, I love my black man.
Lovie D loves a black man. Y'all got that right. Y'all got that right. Anyway, tell everybody why they should go watch Colorblind.
I think everybody should go watch Colorblind and everything because it's an emotional experience that you didn't think you were going to need. You know what I mean? Sometimes you think that you need certain things or that you don't need certain things, and you just kind of flowing through life.
Right.
And you think everything's all jolly or good, or maybe everything's just bad. It's a movie that you will watch that you will underestimate the thing that you would need to bring you to another point in your life that you should have. That's why you should watch Colorblind the movie.
Nice.
Don't underestimate where you're at. Okay?
Nice. Well, brother, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. You know, it ain't like we don't do this all the time, but I'm glad I get the chance to do it like this.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad to see you doing you. I'm glad to see, you know, the Baldwin of the BaldwinCreech doing his thing and seeing you out there and doing big things, because that's what we do. As brothers, we love to see our brothers do the great things.
Absolutely, man. I'm here to please, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to do my
baby.
part.
As we always do.
Yeah.
We out of here.
Out of here. Thank you.
Tell everybody the name of your film company.
So the film company right now that I'm building and branding is Young Girl Films, Young Girl Production. And so I would say my talk show, White Couch Conversation, was kind of the first production for Young Girl Productions. And then now we have Colorblind the Movie. And hopefully coming soon, Covet the Movie.
Coming soon. You heard it first. Covet the Movie.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with
Thank
me
you.
and enlightening us and giving us your perspective on the movie. It's a great job. I want to applaud you for doing what you do. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.